Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Kelsey. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I'm going to be doing a tag that Kelly Gooch started. So I'm going to leave Kelly's channel and like the original video that started this tag down below so you can check it out because I thought it was such a good idea and I love her channel. I think she's super talented and I just love like the things she has to say and her personality, and I just think she's really great. So the tag is, if I could only keep one. So I'm going to go through some like my makeup staples and like things that you use to get ready daily, or that I use to get ready daily, and then just pick one from each category. Not everything is going to be like featured, like I'm not going to do brows or mascara or eyeliner because Kelly didn't. I'm just going to be doing the things that she did and just telling you the things that I would keep. So she had mentioned this in her video that it doesn't necessarily mean that this is like her favorite stuff. And some of this I will say is like my favorite, and then others I would say I would just keep that one because it like serves a certain purpose. And so yeah, let's just jump right in. I'm going to start with primer. I feel like I'm still like how many years have I been wearing facial primer? Like a long time, 8 years. I feel like I still don't have like an exact favorite or like a go-to primer, but one that I have right now that I've actually really been enjoying and like I use almost on a daily basis is this one from Pixi. And it's the Flawless and Poreless Primer. I really like this. I have oily skin and I feel like this really helps keep oils kind of at bay. It's not like perfectly poreless because, I mean, what would ever do that? But it does do a great job at kind of like minimizing the look of pores and just really keeping me matte and like not as oily throughout the day. So this is the one that I would choose, and I would use this year round. Like I get oily all year round, so I would use this one. For foundation, this is my favorite foundation and like the one that I would always go to. This is the Bare Minerals Matte Foundation. I love this foundation. I feel like I've talked about this a lot. Last year I actually had a version of this, but it was like a blemish remedy one. Like it was like, I think it was this same formula, but then it had like some like blemish fighting ingredients in it, but I like this one just a little bit better. It's just their normal matte loose foundation. Love this stuff. I'm wearing it today. Actually, most of this stuff today I'm wearing. This foundation though is like, I've used it for years, like over 10 years. Like I've used this for so long. I used the original before they came out with a matte one, and again, my face is oily, so I love the matte foundation. It's definitely, like, this would be my choice because you can make it whatever you want. So like today I have it with some concealer, and then I've like really kind of built up a little bit of the coverage, so you can just kind of keep going in with a brush and work on the coverage. Or you can just go in and like just use a light dusting all over your face, and it's just gonna kind of subtly even out your skin tone, and it's just, it looks so good. I've said this before, this wears throughout the day beautifully. Like, I feel like it looks better now than it did when I applied it like 45 minutes ago. Like, it's that kind of a foundation. Like, it just like melts into your skin, and like I feel like throughout the day you get a little bit more coverage than when you started. I don't know how that's possible, but somehow this does that. So this would be the one I choose for sure. Now concealer is one that I went back and forth on because I have a few concealers that I've been using lately that I really like. They're all liquid concealers, and so I just kind of narrowed it down to the one that I thought I would probably get the most versatility out of, and it's the NYX Gotcha Covered Concealer. This concealer is like, it says waterproof, but it's like full coverage, stays on all day. I put it underneath the matte foundation, and so I like put it underneath my eyes. I kind of cover some blemishes with it, and it lasts forever and ever. You could almost use this as like a foundation as well if you're wanting to like really build up some coverage. I've done this before for like special events where I just kind of put a bunch on my hand and then go in with a concealer brush and just cover everything that I want to cover, and then go in with either a brush or like a sponge and blend it out, and then just top it with, again, like the powder, or kind of what my go-to daily use is I just cover some spots with this as well as like under my eyes, and then just do a light dusting of powder. And so I just think this concealer is like super versatile. It can do whatever you want it to do, and it's gonna last all day. It is a little bit of like a dewy finish, but if I'm using these other mattifying products, it really kind of helps seal it in, and so this is definitely my pick. For bronzer, I'm not a huge bronzer wearer, especially through like the winter and even like fall and spring. I just don't wear a lot of bronzer. Summer, sometimes I do, kind of depends on the day. I used to wear bronzer a lot, and I've kind of just discovered it's not my biggest thing that I love, and so I do have a bronzer that I like, and it's from Wet n Wild. The packaging is all rubbed off because I use it. It's the Ticket to Brazil bronzer, and I actually have 2 of these. Long story, but I really enjoy this. I picked this up last spring-ish. I think I got this one in May, and it's just a really nice color. I've hit pan on it, which for a bronzer that's this big, that's huge for me, especially because I don't wear bronzer very often. I am wearing it today. It just adds like a nice like sheen and like bronziness to the skin without being too orangey or like, I don't know, I have fair skin, and so bronzer is kind of hard for me. So like you can barely even see that swatch, but it just provides like that nice little amount of bronze and sheen, and it just looks really nice on the skin, and so that would be my pick. For blush, this is another one that was hard for me to pick because I have a few blushes that I really like, but I ended up going with this one from Tarte. And it's one of their Amazonian clay blushes, and it's in the shade Party, which this was the blush that was in the Sephora like birthday kit last year, and so a ton of people have it, and I feel like a ton of people talk about it actually, but I don't think this is one of their normal colors. Like I've looked for it at stores before because I really like it, but I haven't found it. So I might have to find one that's similar to this because I have hit pan on there, and like I've used a lot of this product. I really enjoy it. It lasts all day. The color is so pretty. Again, I'm wearing it today. It's just like this nice flush of pink, but nothing too crazy. It's kind of on the nude side, and I just really enjoy it. And the last for the face is highlight. So highlight, again, was one that was hard because I have a lot of highlights that I use, and I feel like I use a lot of highlights that I'm not like super sold about. Like I use them because I'm looking for like a certain look. Like I want something kind of golden, so I'm gonna go with this highlight, or I'm looking for something a little more silver, so I'm gonna go with this highlight. And it kind of depends on like the eye look I'm going for, if I want like a warm tone or if I want more of like a cool tone highlight. So I wanted to pick one that could kind of like lean either way, and the one that I came down to that I think just looks flawless on the skin, it looks so nice, and but it's nothing like too crazy either, is from Urban Decay, and it's the Urban Decay Sin highlight. I have it in a little sample size. I got this in an Ipsy a while ago. This was actually in my products to use up by the end of the year. It was like a panning project that I had going on at the end of last year, and for some reason I thought I could use this highlight in like the course of 3 months, but there was no way it would happen. Like there's still so much product in here, but it's such a pretty color. It's just like that nice like in-between tone. It's like golden but kind of silvery too. It's like this really pretty champagne color, and it just looks so nice on the skin. Again, it's nothing like too over the top. You're not gonna get like a blinding highlight with it, but that's not usually the look that I go for anyways, and so this was the one I decided to choose just because, again, it's one of those like versatile products that can kind of like work in multiple ways. Now before I get into eyeshadow palettes and the lips, I am going to include a few brushes. Kelly included like a face brush and an eye brush, and I'm going to do the same. So for my face brush, I have to choose this brush because this is like, again, the most versatile brush. I've had this for years. I've had probably 3 of them, and it's from e.l.f. It's the complexion brush. I love this brush. I can get so much use out of this. I can use it for my foundation. I used it for the bronzer and blush and highlight today. So it's totally like an all-in-one brush. I love it so much. I've had it for like years. I think I've probably used this brush for like the last 8 years or so. And I've had a few of them because they're e.l.f. so they're like $3. I think this might be $4 now. I don't remember for sure. But it's just so affordable. So even if you do need to buy another one, it's not that big of a deal. The problem I've had with it hasn't actually been with like the brush. It's been with like the ferrule coming apart, or like this part coming apart from here, and so it's something you could fix, but something that I'm like, it's just $3, I'll just get a new one kind of a thing. Is that bad? I don't know. But I love this brush. So good. I can't travel without it. I can't do my makeup without it. I just love it. Now for an eye brush, I don't know if this is cheating or not, but I picked a dual-ended eye brush. And this is the Anastasia brush that actually comes with like the Modern Renaissance palette. I think this is in some of the other eyeshadow palettes. But it's just such a good brush, and it's like everything you could really need. So one side is like a fluffy blending brush, and then on the other side you have a little bit more of like a flat shader brush, but you could also use it for kind of like packing on some color, putting stuff on the waterline, on the lower lash line. I did use this brush for my complete eye look today. When I first got this brush in my Modern Renaissance palette, I wasn't a big fan. I kind of like set it aside and then like never used it. But since then, I have picked this sucker up quite a few times. I do really enjoy this. It's like natural fiber, I think. So it is a little bit, it's not like super soft, especially the fluffy side, and so I think that was kind of throwing me off. I was like, this is scratchy, but after you kind of use it a few times, the scratchiness goes away, but it just applies eyeshadow so beautifully, and again, it's just like a great multi-use tool. It works really nice. So that was my one eye brush pick. I'm gonna go on to lips and save the eyeshadow palette for last. For lips, like this one came to me like when I was watching this video and she got to lips, I was like, oh, I know exactly what I would pick, and it's what I have on my lips right now. It's the Wet n Wild Gel Lip Liner, and I have it in the shade Bear to Comment. I have repurchased this. This again was another one of the products that was in my products to use up by the end of the year for the last few months of last year, and I did use it. I used it all and I loved it. And at the beginning of this year, I would like go to do a lip look, so like I feel like I need that lip liner. Like I love it. I'm wearing it today. It's so nice. It's kind of like a peachy pink nude, and it goes with everything. This is all I have on my lips. Like I don't have anything else. It's just such a great lip liner. It's a retractable lip liner, and they're like $2.99. And so it's like my favorite lip liner ever. I love it by itself, so that's why I would choose it, because like if I could just have one thing, this would be the one thing that I would want, because it does everything. You could like just put a tiny bit of it on your lips and kind of like blend it out. You can put it full on like this, and it's just so comfortable. It doesn't feel like lipstick. It doesn't feel like a liquid lip. It doesn't feel like anything. Like it just feels like your lips. And so that's why I would choose that. And the color, I mean, I love the color. But you could choose a different color if you want. There's lots of colors, but this is just the one that I love. When I repurchased this, I thought about trying a different color. Like, there was like 7 other colors. I was like, maybe I should get a different one because I had this one last time. I was like, no, I just love this color. I'm so afraid to try anything else because I love this one. Now onto eyeshadow palettes. So this is one that stumped me because it was hard. I have a few requirements for my eyeshadow palette that if I only had one, they would need to have these things. One, I would need to have like a cream color that I could use all over the lid to set my eye primer. 2, I need like a gray highlight color. Even though I have this highlight color, it's really great to have something in your eyeshadow palette that you can just put on easy without going to another product, you know? And then 2, or I guess 3 now, I would need like some nude colors to do like a quick eye look. 4, I wanted like some warm tones because that's been my go-to lately, and so I needed warm tones. What are we on, 5? 5, I wanted some color to be able to like play with some stuff and like get some different looks and that kind of a fun thing, which I don't do often, but I wanted to be able to have some flexibility. And then lastly, I needed there to be a black because you never know when you're going to need a black eyeshadow. Like, I don't use it often, but it's very useful when you do need it, you know? So, my first go-to thought was this guy, of course, the Modern Renaissance palette. But the more I thought about it, the more I was like, well, most of the looks I get out of this are very similar. They're either kind of like a pinky look or like an orangey brown look. And there's not like a lot of variety, and there's no matte cream color. This tempera shade is close, but it does have a slight like sheen to it, and it's kind of more pinky than cream. So I decided to not go with this one, but so beautiful still. Like, this would be my second pick if I could have a two. Then actually my next thought went to this new Wet n Wild one, which is like a dupe of the Modern Renaissance, but it has that matte cream color. So I was like, well, maybe I could do this one because it has the matte cream color. But then I found myself in the same predicament where I would just be ending up with the same look every time. Then I thought of the Tarte Tartlet in Bloom. I was swatching all of these last night and I realized I haven't used this one lately, and it's so beautiful. Like, it swatches, I had it swatched down my arm, and it was just like, I did it and I was like, that's the most beautiful swatches I think I've ever seen. They were so pretty. And so I love this palette, which I thought that would be a great one to do. But it doesn't really fulfill like my color need. Like, it's very neutral. And so, and actually as I was swatching these, I realized that these two rows are pretty dang similar. Slightly different, but very similar, so I figured I'd probably end up again with a lot of the same looks. Even though this is beautiful and great quality, I had to skip it. So, drum roll, I had to pick this Morphe and Kathleen Lights palette. This was limited edition. I did buy this. It's been about a little over a year now, and I thought this would be perfect. It fulfills that cream color. It's got a great like highlight color. It's got lots of neutrals. It's got those like warm tones. It's got a black. It's got some colors. But it just fulfills everything that I would be looking for. This actually is, I'm kind of doing like a pan that palette thing this year. I'll link that video above where I kind of like talked about my panning thoughts for the year. And so I mentioned this, that I'm wanting to use up a few of these, or not use up, but like hit pan on a few of these shadows because I really do enjoy this palette. I think this is such a pretty palette. Again, it was limited edition, and I know there's like a lot of talk about limited edition products when YouTubers use them because you can't buy them anymore. But sorry, I just love this palette, so this would be the one that I would choose. I'm wearing this today. Again, I have that cream color all over my lid after I set my primer. I have this color, which this color actually has a little bit of glitter in it, but it doesn't come across glittery. It almost like comes across as like a sheen, kind of. Like, it's not exactly matte, but it's not like shimmery either. And so I have that in my crease. And then this color is probably one of my favorite colors in this palette. It's so beautiful. I have that like in the outer corner and then kind of worked into the crease a little bit. And then I took this shimmery color here. It's kind of like a bronze color, and just put that all over my lid, pretty like sheer. Like, I didn't like go in and like pack it in, but just a touch of that on my lid, and then highlighted with the shimmery color. This would be the palette that I would choose for one palette because you can just do so much. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I thought this was such a fun idea. Again, I love Kelly. I love her videos. I think she puts out some great content. So if you're not subscribed to her, I'll link her channel below. Make sure you check her out. She's awesome. But if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe down below if you haven't already. I would love to have you around. Oh, Also, time out! I have a giveaway that ends in like 3 days. So make sure you're subscribed. I'll link that giveaway video below as well. I'm actually giving away one of these palettes. Again, I think this is phenomenal. And so I'm giving one of those away. I'll link it below. Make sure you check that out. All you have to do is be subscribed and comment on that video. So, here we go. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. Again, subscribe down below. I would love to have you around and to be entered into that giveaway. And until next time, bye guys! So that was my one eyeshadow pick. Or one eyeshadow. So that was my one eye brush kit. Nope. So that was my one eye brush. Ugh.